Let's talk about 25 important academic words that you should know. That's coming up. Hey everyone, my name is Wes. This is Interactive English, which the channel, it's all about trying to help you practice and improve your English skills. And today is a lesson to help you build your vocabulary because I want to teach you 25 important academic words that you should try to put in your vocabulary. Now, I say that these are academic words, which means they're probably more often used in university or perhaps at work if you're giving a presentation, or maybe if you're taking an exam like the IELTS or TOEFL. These are all words from the academic word list. And if you don't know what that is, it is a list of the most commonly used academic words. I will put a link down in the description, linking you to the list if you would like to get a little more information about it. I will also include all of the words from this lesson down in the description if you would like to review. So as we go through these words, I will tell you the meaning. I will give you the part of speech. I will also show you the IPA so that you know how the word is pronounced. And finally, I will give you an example sentence so that you can see how the word is used in context, and hopefully that will give you a better understanding of the meaning. So let's begin with the 25 important words that I want to talk to you about in this lesson. The first word that I have for you is adequate. It is an adjective, and it means that you have enough of something or a satisfactory amount of something that is for a particular purpose. And often you may use this word with amount. You have an adequate amount of something. That is a common collocation. For example, the squirrel stored an adequate amount of food to last the winter. Then we have the word analysis. This is a noun, and somebody would do an analysis, and you're talking about a very careful study or examination of something. Often, I think you might use this word when talking about perhaps research or something with science, and you would do an analysis. You could also use it with words such as detailed. You do a detailed analysis, or perhaps close. You could perform a close analysis of something. A close analysis of the report revealed misleading information. Next is the word constraints. So constraints, it's a noun, and it refers to something that controls what you're able to do by keeping you within some limit. So, for example, if you're doing something, perhaps you're doing a research project, you're trying to do an analysis of something, and you have to follow certain guidelines. And maybe you think those guidelines are constraints because you can't go outside of those guidelines. You have to work within these limits, and you could refer to those as constraints. Due to time constraints, they had to work longer hours to finish construction. Corresponding. This is an adjective, and it means it's like similar to or connected with or caused by something else. And you're really referring to a relationship between two different things. The company increased its profits by 10% compared to the corresponding period last year. Then we have cycle. This is a noun, and it's talking about a group of events that are happening in a particular order, and they may be following each other in a particular order, and then it's repeated, and you could refer to this as a cycle. Scientists continue to learn more and more about the life cycle of a butterfly. Dominant. This is an adjective. It's an adjective that I think you could really use to show some emphasis, because what it means is that something is more important, something is stronger, or something is more noticeable than anything else. You could say that it is dominant. He is the most dominant player on the basketball court. Then we have exclude. This is a verb, to exclude someone or to exclude something. And it's talking about preventing someone or something from joining a group or even participating in a particular activity. To exclude. No one wants to be excluded from the group. Next is the word hence. This is an adverb, and it really means that this is the reason for something, or this is the explanation as to why this is happening. Hence. He ate too much for breakfast, hence his stomach ache. Implication. This is a noun, and it's talking about the effect that an action or decision will have on something else in the future. And you might use it with words such as broad. There are broad implications that it could have an effect on many different things. It's wide-ranging, broad implications. For example, the new environmental law will have broad implications on people's ability to develop land. Then we have indicate. This is a verb, to indicate something, and it means to show, to point, or to make clear in some way, to indicate. The survey indicates that most people have some financial debt. Then we have interpretation. This is a noun, and it's talking about an explanation or opinion about what something means. And you may follow this with the preposition of, and you could talk about your interpretation of something, or you could use it with the phrase and say something is open to interpretation. There are a range of opinions about what this thing might mean. For example, the meaning of this painting is open to interpretation. Then we have the word link. This is a noun, and it's talking about a connection between two people, things, or ideas. You could say there is a link. There's a link between exercise and reduced levels of stress. Maintenance. This is a noun, and it's talking about the work that you need to do on a road, a bridge, a building, or anything so that it stays in good condition. And you may use it with that verb. Something needs maintenance, or you may say that you have to do some maintenance. The city really needs to do more road maintenance. Then we have maximum. So this can be either a noun or an adjective. The meaning is really the same because it's talking about being the largest amount or number that is allowed or possible, the maximum. Or you could use it as an adjective. For example, the car has reached its maximum speed. And then the opposite of maximum is minimum. You can also use this as either a noun or an adjective, and it's talking about the smallest amount or number allowed or possible, minimum. In order to save money, we need to keep our spending to a minimum. Normal. This is an adjective that means that, well, everything is the same, it's usual, it's as it would be expected to be. And I think of maybe you go to the doctor and it's always great news when they tell you that, hey, everything's normal. Every now and then it's normal for couples to argue. Next is the word obvious. This is an adjective, and you're basically saying that something is easy to see, recognize, or understand. And often I think this adjective will come after the verb to be, if you want to say something is obvious, or perhaps you want to say that something is not obvious. The answer to the problem is not obvious. Then we have parameters. This is a noun, and it refers to a set of facts that really it establishes limits on how something can be done or how it must be done. So those limits that really determine how something must be done, those are parameters. The Department of Health established the parameters for the experiment. Period. So this word is a noun, and it's just talking about a length of time, a period. And often you may use it, that entire phrase, and you might refer to a period of time. I've already used this word in one of the previous examples when I taught you the word corresponding. So let's have another look at that sentence. The company increased its profits by 10% compared to the corresponding period last year. proportion. This is a noun, and when I think of the word proportion, I often think of math because it's talking about the number or amount of a group of something or a part of something when compared to the whole. And when you're talking about that amount, that group or part, and compared to the whole, you're talking about a proportion. And you may use this word with the adjectives small or large, like a small proportion or a large proportion. For example, children make up a large proportion of the world's population. Reliance. This word is a noun, and it's talking about the state of depending on or trusting in something or someone. Often I think you are going to follow this word with the preposition on, a reliance on something or a reliance on someone. The world's reliance on oil has been bad for the environment. Next is the word role, and this is a noun. It's talking about the position or purpose that something or someone has in a situation, in society, in relationship, or even in organization. And you could say that this is a person's role, or this is something's role. It's their purpose. Teachers play an important role in the learning process. Then we have the word sequence. This is a noun, and it's talking about a series of related things or events, and really like the order in which they follow each other. And that's actually a common phrase, a collocation that people will use. They're talking about a sequence of events. There was a terrible sequence of events that led to their divorce. Then we have the word shift, and this could be either a verb or a noun, to shift, or as a noun, a shift. And it's talking about causing someone or something to change direction, or maybe even change a position. And it's more referring to a slight change. So you could say there was a shift, like a change, and you're using it as a noun, or we could use it as a verb, like in this example right here. A boxer will often shift their weight from one foot to another. Then we have the word variables. This is a noun, and you're talking about a number, amount, or a situation that can change. So if something can change, then those are variables. There are certain variables, such as the weather, which will determine how fast we can drive. So those are 25 important academic words that I hope you can go out and use if you are in school, or maybe you're getting ready to take the IELTS or TOEFL, or even for work. I think these words are very useful, and I hope you learn some new ones as well. Again, I will leave a word list down in the description in case you would like to review. And if you enjoyed the lesson, please hit that like button. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.